Okay. This one. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Admitting, keep admitting everyone. I'm into the other computer and then you will see me. Right now you can't see. And here I am. There we go. Hi there, how's it going?
Okay. Okay, Diana, how are you?
Good, Patricia, nice to see you guys.
Nice to see you, Diana.
Let me, here we go. So I want to say something that I haven't really had to say much yet, but I forgot that it does happen because yesterday the whole campus, I was not teaching here yesterday, got saying that the Wi-Fi, the internet connection was down for everyone and they had to fix. Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah.
Good, how are you?
Someone's talking with someone on the phone. Please mute yourself if someone is talking to someone else. Okay. So here's all I wanted to say. If connection goes down, you will still see me, but everyone at home, you will just be kicked out of Zoom. If that happens, and when I was teaching from home, a few times we had, fluctuations, just wait because at the very least, I'll find a way to get back on Zoom with my phone and tell you what's happening because my phone won't need the Wi-Fi. And then we'll know if it's something temporary or not, but just don't, if I disappear, like gone, like you're like, hello, and I'm not there. It's because my connection has gone down. As much as if your connection goes down, you guys just disappear. And I'm like, okay, what happened to this person? I won't get announced. You'll just disappear. Same with me. But just wait it out because it's easier for me to connect again and you're all still there than for you guys to disconnect and reconnect and all of that. If say after 10 minutes I'm still not there, I guess you guys can assume something's really wrong, but in which case I would have emailed you from my phone telling you what's happening, right? So anyway, just a warning. I don't think it'll happen, but since yesterday they were revamping all the internet sections and had we been teaching yesterday, it could have happened. I thought I'd warn you. Just in case kind of warning. All right. I need to turn off one of these lights. That's too bright inside. Yeah, so this one we're just gonna get rid of. Anytime you see the Adobe sign in, you will see it every single time you sign in. Just close it, Adobe sign in, and then say okay to that. That's the first time you ever, this computer will send you all these messages. And we can ignore it. Okay, don't forget to put in your computer number here next to your signature so that next time you remember where you are, in case you forgot where you were sitting. Okay, so hey, welcome back to Mac class. And before I get started today with this class, is there anything in particular any question in particular that you might have from anything I said the other day? Things that didn't work, things that worked. Just, I know it's the first class and recording in progress. Someone signed in with a second computer. Whoever just signed in with a second computer has to choose one of them. Is it Irma?
I'm trying. There, that should be it.
Thank you. Thank you. You can't have two microphones in the same room, which is why we get them as soon as you have two microphones in the same room. So whoever has two monitors, not two monitors, two computers, you always have to sign out the sound on one of them. Okay. Yeah, your sound is disconnected. Okay, Dorothy. And then, okay, you guys might notice that some people have two computers. For those of you who just joined us, remember that if you have a second possible display or monitor or computer, it'll make it way easier once I start sharing my screen. So go ahead and go find it and connect it. Another thing that I want you guys to do that we didn't talk about last week is to have your phone or iPads, whatever devices that you are. Dorothy, that might be- no, it's you, Irma again. You,
I'm trying to turn it off at this point. You connected me to my iPad instead of my computer the first time, so it was, I had it ready, the second computer, and I had no audio on, nothing to hear you, so I didn't even know you were there. But I'm
Okay.
fine now, I turned it
I
off.
know. Well, you're here one time now, so if you have the other one, you can still connect to it, but with the sound off. When it says connect to audio, you know, when you connect in the Zoom.
Yeah, I know, but I couldn't hear you on the other one because you hadn't allowed me to on my main computer yet. I'm sorry, it's my fault.
Oh, okay. Whatever order the people come in, I say admit to everyone
Right.
who's in the group.
There's no way you could have known which it was, so.
Yeah, I just admit anyone, everyone who's in the class gets in. All right, so if you have a phone or an iPad, iPhone or iPad or any Apple device that you have, please go ahead and have it near you, have it connected. Those of you who are in person, bring them charged, okay? Because the computers aren't isolated creatures anymore, especially in the world of Mac. More so even than for PC users, it's kind of like this one environment, one symbiotic environment where you own one Apple item, one Apple computer or laptop, iPad, desktop, iPhone, iPod, whatever you own. They are all connected, and we're going to talk quite a bit right now about the whole Apple ID, cloud, a lot of stuff that you might know some about, you might know nothing about. But the whole point is that the way things work right now, if you own, say, a laptop or a desktop, doesn't matter, a computer. Laptop and desktop is just the shape it takes, but it's all what we would call computer. Just a different shape, but it's the same thing versus a phone is different than an iPad. So those are just different kind of creatures. And if any one of those that you own, if you connect them with the same Apple ID, which is something you have by the fact that you own an Apple piece of equipment, then you can function with them across the board. So if I write something in a document in my computer, I can, okay, I'm letting your iPad in right now, Irma. So when it comes in, remember to turn, when it says to turn the sound out, so I'll say no. Okay? The sound. Okay.
I know, I'm fine now. It came in with no audio. I'll tell you later what the problem was.
Okay, yeah, no reverb. Remind me when I have two pair of glasses on that I'm wearing two pair of glasses because I forget. These are my computer class. The other ones are the ones I use outside of here, and I just left them on my head. So if I were to start writing something on my phone and then need to leave, doctor's appointment, gotta go pick up the kids, whatever. And then I need to wait because, you know, the kid's still in the class or whatever reason, I just want to continue that thing. I can open up my phone and continue exactly where I left it from my computer. Or if I'm at the doctor's office and they say, okay, come back in whatever, a month or appointments, you write it in your calendar on the phone. When you get back home, you look at your calendar on the computer, there it is, the appointment has been set up. It's completely one environment that if you do it in one, it appears on the other. Does that make sense? We're going to learn how to control that because some of you might not want some of that to happen. You can control it and tell it no, but if by default, what you have is the phones and the computers and iPads and smartwatches and everything set up correctly, then yeah, as much as you get a text on your phone, you can get a text on your watch or you can get a text on your computer. And you can answer it from any of those places. So if you have any Apple devices, bring them to class. And then when I explain things on the computer, I'm also going to then share my phone and show you how to do it on the phone, and everyone will just whip out their phone and set it up there and set it up on the computer. So it's a bit of, we're going to learn the whole the whole thing. It's not just the computers. Because computers just aren't independent anymore. It's the way these things are, it's everywhere. You will notice that I have my phones always attached with these cables. I've had so much time teaching these classes that I've left them in so many places that now I just connect these things to my body so that if I walk out, people go, oh, it's falling out, and it just swings. And it just swings because I keep forgetting them. And so now I connect these with this little cable to my jeans or to my pockets or whatever. So that when I go talk to someone, I don't, forget it. So I'm gonna disconnect it though, because now I have to walk and I don't want it's connected to the computer. So that's why this little hangy thing is there. Okay. There we go. The thing is that at home, you guys can just connect it over here. Make sure to bring them with battery like charged so that you can use them. What I haven't shown people who are on the computer, you might have noticed that down at the bottom of the screen where we've been using other things like share screen and reactions, there's also a thing called chat. And if you've never used the chat before and you see the word chat, please go click on the chat. Other than that, I'm going to write something on the chat. I'm going to say hello. And you at home should have seen the word hello pop in somewhere. That's the chat. I would appreciate if everyone, when they come into class, you can go and say hello in the chat or say I'm here or good morning or whatever you feel like saying. I just want you to write something, and that kind of helps me see a sign in of the people who are in class. Another thing I need is your last names. So over there where it says Fred's iPad Air, if you can put your last name there too, or if not, I can do it for you, but if you need to, so just let me know. But I need first and last name so that then it matches the roster. Same Dorothy, if you can add your Oxner last name. I'm looking at everyone else's. I think everyone else has a last name, or you have it on one.
Mine doesn't say the last name on my iPad. Is that okay?
No, as long as I have you one time, like the one says
okay, great.
Honor Evans, that's fine. But if you're only there one time, that one time somewhere needs to have
Last name. Got it.
last name. So I'm looking at my last name. It's Gallagher, right? For Fred. I'm going to rename. I
That's
hope
correct.
right. So I'm gonna just Fred Gallagher, and I probably wrote it wrong. Let me see. Oh, I actually wrote it correctly. Yeah, I did. Okay. And then is Michelle, there it is. Okay, Hannah. Okay, everyone's there. All right, good. Now, that's it for admin kind of stuff. All right, so now, who remembers a little bit what we covered last class? I took you guys to see the class handouts, remember? And we did that by opening a browser, any browser, and going to Pipeline, signing in, Google Drive, and all of that. I just want to make sure that everyone has that down pat before we continue. So I'm going to have everyone do that one more time. And on top of that, Gladys is new with us today, so she'll get to see how to do it once. So everyone, when I say open a browser is an app that helps us go to the internet, and you'll find links to the main applications in a computer down on the dock. So this part here of the computer, this is what we call the dock. Okay, this down here is the dock. And what the dock does is it has a bunch of icons on it that are the ones that Apple assumes that you're going to need the most. It's like the top 20 of the 100 applications that the computer comes with. So it's not everything the computer has. And there's many that you might not even want, and they're still there. So it's like having a Christmas decoration out in May. It's like, let's just put it in the attic and bring it out in December, right? So you don't need everything that's here. And one of the things we're going to learn is, what do we keep there? What do we need that's not there? How do we change what's there? But what first comes in your computer is that which Apple goes, okay, these are the top 15. And so this is like a quick switch to open these applications. The rest of the applications are on this computer, exist in a folder called applications, and we're going to learn about where all the things live on a computer. But this, when I hover over these guys, they give me a little name of what each one is. So this is the Photos app, this is the Maps app, this is the Mail app, right? This is the Messages app. And I'm just hovering, I'm not clicking on anything. But the first thing I want you to do for this class, especially those of you at home, those here, you just open the computer, you probably don't have much open, but at home, you need to look and see for these little black dots that you see there. Under this little notes app, I have a little black dot. Under this one, I have a little black dot, and so on and so forth. So any little black dot that I have under the dot means that that application is open and running. If it's open and running right now, I want nothing to be open and running other than what I ask you to open up and run. That way there's no confusion as to what we're opening, especially at home, when on top of that, you're running Zoom. So,
Diana,
Are you
So-
sharing your screen?
will you please share? Yeah, okay. Thank
Oh,
you.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. I forgot that I wasn't sharing. Thank you for reminding me.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah. It's, here's the thing. And some of you guys who were in class before know it. I can't tell always what I'm sharing, when I'm having, these monitors here. So if I'm ever saying this, that, whatever, and you don't see it as you just did right now, please don't hesitate in telling me, share your screen. So here we go. I was pointing it all happily to the people who are here and I was forgetting that you guys couldn't see it. Okay, so now I was pointing to these little dots here at the bottom of my dock. Okay, these little dots mean that Zoom is open. This little dot means that Excel is open. This makes my notes are open. Chrome is open, etc. And Finder is open. So we'll talk about the Finder in a minute, but anything else that's open should be closed. So how would you guys probably don't have much more open because we never did that. But I know people have been using their computer, or if you're using your own laptop, some people have, well, the other day, a lot of people had their laptops here. Why are we not? No one else has their laptop here today.
It's too confusing having both going on.
It's computer,
I don't know.
I would prefer you to have your own and not this, if you have your own, because then you'll learn on your own computer and not have these open. Last week, at first, I thought I'd put you all on Zoom, but depending on the level of the class and how many people we have, it got confusing. So if you have your own laptop, open your own laptop and not the school computer. That way you can learn on the thing that you're actually using at home. Okay, so that's just my recommendation. If you didn't bring it today, bring it on Monday and because I'm gonna ask you things like, what operating system are you using? Like the question I asked in the survey, and it doesn't help me to tell me you're using the one at school, because the one at your computer is the one that matters, because that's the one you're gonna learn on, okay? So I know you both had laptops, bring them next week. If you didn't right now, or if you're sitting in the car, please bring them back, okay?
Can I
Yeah.
plug my battery dead on mine?
Yeah.
Can I plug it in here?
If you bring in an extension cord, then we do have power along that wall. And you can plug it in that way. As long as no one sits there, no one's gonna trip, we can do that. And since this class, I'm containing it in here, because everyone else is online, then you can do that. As soon as someone goes over there, then you can't do that anymore, which is why I'm like, oh, no. And the same with that back wall. So if anyone here wants to plug in their laptop and bring in a extension cord as well, then you can make it. They never set this up like other labs have, like plugs under,
Yeah.
but this one doesn't. And we're remodeling it one of these days. They promised for years to remodel it. When they do, then we'll have it back. There's a hidden bar on the inside that isn't accessible where they're plugged into, so we can't reach it. We can't plug into them. You can't unplug it and you can't plug it. It's only the IT people can do that. Okay, so, but it's gonna be more efficient for you to learn on your own computer because, again, we're gonna be moving files around, learning how to handle things, setting up iCloud accounts and stuff like that, and it's gonna be much better for your learning to do it on your own computer.
I do have Safari open.
Well, I just asked you to open your browser, so that's fine. So thanks. I did tell you guys to open your browser. So the only one I want you to have open is, where's my mouse? Is Safari. So if you did that, oh, go ahead and open Safari. But for example, I don't want Chrome, so I'm telling you to close it. How do I close it? I'm gonna right click and quit. Okay, and so when I say right click and quit, that'll close anything else that's open that I don't want. So I'm gonna go to the notes over here that are open. I'm gonna right click and quit. So when I say right click, I know that for some of you guys, the mouse is new to you. I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna quit. So now I only have left Zoom, which I need to have open because I'm using Zoom like everyone else. Safari, which is the browser I just asked you to open. And then notice that the Finder is always open. Why? Because the Finder is actually that which makes the computer run. It's kind of like the face of the operating system. We'll talk more about what that means. But if the computer's Finder is off, that means the computer is off. Computer is on, the Finder will be on. So you'll always have, if nothing else, you will always have one dot under there forever, because it's what you're seeing, all these windows that we're seeing right now, that is the Finder. So right now I want everyone to have everything off except for the Finder. Those of you who are at home, you'll see Zoom. And then now I want you guys to open Safari. And when you open Safari, we will have, if depending on how set up you have in Safari, it should open somewhat like this, unless you have it set up already to open in some other page. I heard someone at home try to say something. No, I thought I heard. Okay. Now I'm going to remind everyone at home how I need you guys to answer. When I say, okay, is everyone with me? Like over here, I look and I see that everyone's ready to go. But at home, for me to see that everyone's ready to go, I need you guys to give me a big old yes. Remember the whole reactions buttons with the yeses and the nos and the raised hands? So if you have everything off except for Zoom and Safari, then give me a yes. If you don't know how to do it or you have any question, raise your hand. So yes, Irma?
I don't understand how to get your screen to the side so I get my options to participate.
All right. Remember that you said you're gone. You had another, no, there you are. You're on your iPad.
Right.
The whole point is that on your iPad, you should be watching me. And on your
Right.
computer, you should minimize Zoom and have it disappear so that you can just use your own computer. So,
So how do I minimize?
okay, so if you have the word Zoom up on the top, like where it says
Right.
the apple, you say Zoom, click on that. And let me let Barbara in. Click on the word Zoom and find right underneath that you'll see a hide Zoom or something like that. Like on the
Okay.
word Zoom, go down.
Oh, good.
There you go. So now you should see your own screen and it's not in the way.
I don't see
Okay.
that. Hide Zoom. Okay. It's not hiding. Do you hold it down?
It should, and if not, try to do the window that I'm trying to think what windows you're seeing. This is what you're seeing is on this computer. Zoom. Yeah, you should be able to hide Zoom. So I don't know why it's not hiding. Okay. So
Where it says zoom.us, it says hide Zoom.
click on zoom.us, then go all the way down to the choice hide Zoom and click on that.
It's not doing anything.
It should be disappearing. Okay, then hit the escape key first. The escape key from your keyboard.
Which one's escape?
Top left key on your keyboard is ES.
Okay, yeah,
Do that
okay.
first, which should minimize it, like it should separate it from the top. And then you have a red dot, a yellow dot, and a green dot. Click on the yellow dot. I'm sorry, not red, yellow dot. And that should minimize Zoom as well.
Okay, hold on a second. Okay, it looks to me like I lost you.
Well,
Does
don't
it
you?
say-
But do you
Oh, I
see
see
it
it.
on the iPad?
I see it, yeah.
As long as you
Okay.
make the iPad, that's the point. The iPad is to see me, and on your computer, you should have
Right.
lost me, because now you can see your own.
Okay, fine, thank you. So now you want us to go to the browser, fine. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Anyone else who's at home who's having these issues where you're not sure how to see me versus see you, like Irma did, please let me know. This is where you guys have to copy what I do. So you need to have me on your other computer, if you have another computer, or me on half of your screen showing you this, and then the other half of your screen should be your own computer. So I'm actually going to reduce what I'm sharing so that it's smaller for you. There you go. Now I'm sharing only my browser, nothing else. And you should have space. I'm going to do like that. You should have space on the other half of your screen to have your own browser open. And you should have this. What you should be seeing is this twice on your screen. Mine and your version of this. Does that make sense? If you're set and life is good and you understand what we're doing, give me a yes. If you're not and you are needing help, then click on the no or raise your hand for help. But everyone has to say yes, okay? I need to look and see a sea of greens before I move on. And for you guys who are at home, need to understand this is them. Okay, I'm showing you the class. And I can't look at this and see everyone's ready. I need to see that everyone said yes before I continue. And I have them on this screen because I need to show this, but you don't see them. Okay, so Barbara, Dorothy, Honora, I'm just, if you don't say yes, that means that either A, you're in trouble, and or I need to call on you. So if you're not in trouble, say yes. If you're in trouble, have a problem, need help, say either no or answer me when I ask you. So Honora, I don't see a yes on you. Do you need a hand? You're muted. Can you unmute yourself? You're. I see your mouse moving, but I couldn't hear you. So you need to.
I can't find you.
I found it. Okay.
I mean, I have you on my iPad. I can hear you in my computer, but I don't have the picture because I was going to, I started.
Okay, do you see me on your iPad? Do you see my browser on your iPad?
Yeah, I do.
Good. That's all you need to do. On your computer, you should have your own open. And on the browser.
On my computer, nothing weird. It says My Success Network. I'm in the Santa Barbara. I'm in the pipeline. I was going into the pipeline because I thought that's what we were going to do, but
we are, yeah. So if you're there, that's fine. You're already there.
jumped the gun, but I don't see you.
You should see me on your iPad. You don't
Yeah,
see me.
Yeah, you're on my iPad.
Yeah. So that's what you see me. Okay, let me explain. When I say me, my face is not important at all.
Oh,
What
okay.
you need to see is my screen. I am just a person. When I say, do you see me as my screen? Because that's where the work is going to happen. And I'm going to click in here and I'm going to type sbcc.edu. That's what you need to be seeing when I say, do you see me? Do you see my screen? Right? Because who cares if you see my face or not? Do you see the window that I am sharing for you to do the right thing that I'm doing? Okay. All right. So if so, give me a yes. Dorothy, give me a yes.
How do
you
I say yes? I don't know how to say yes. Let's see.
Okay. So remember the reaction. I should have reviewed this. I
Oh
didn't.
no, you've disappeared now. Ah, help. Oh my gosh, you're gone. Oh, there you are.
Honora,
You
when
hear me?
when you say I'm gone, you mean my face?
No, I'm your face. I don't have your face.
I'm okay. I'm going to stop my share because things are getting a bit confusing here.
Oh, there
What
you are.
is-
Oh my gosh, it came back.
No, it didn't. Oh my gosh. I stopped sharing my screen. So now you're seeing me, but you won't learn much from seeing my face. You need to see my computer. So I'm going to share my screen again. And now you should stop seeing me. You should be seeing something that says favorites frequently visited. That's my screen. And that's what I need you to be seeing. My face is not important. It's my screen. Do you see my screen? It says favorites and frequently visited.
Yep, I see it.
Okay, good. So from now on, when I say, do you see me? It's, do you see what I'm sharing? It's not, people here have the dubious benefits of seeing my face all the time, but you guys at home shouldn't be seeing my face a lot. You should be seeing my screen. Okay. All right. Now go ahead and write sbcc.edu and hit the return key to go to this page. So sbcc.edu.
Right at where?
Okay, so on your, if you opened up a browser where it says search or enter website name, up there, click in there, search
Oh,
or
in
enter
your-
website
In
name.
yours? In yours? Up
Mhm.
at-
In
that
in yours,
works?
in yours. Mine is the screen for you.
Oh,
Mine-
okay. So
Mine
how-
is,
do I have to leave the screen to do that?
Honora, you have an iPad and normally that's set up so that you see me only on the iPad. I don't think maybe you're set up correctly.
I see you on both, actually. I mean, I
Well,
don't
then
see.
you shouldn't be seeing me on your computer. You should only be seeing me on your iPad and on your computer, which is what Irma did. You need to minimize me so that I disappear from your computer. So go to the very top left of your screen, right next to the apple. What is written next to the apple?
It says recording. What Apple?
Okay, there's a little apple icon on your computer.
Yeah.
That's why, do you see that apple icon? If you don't, I see you see recording, then put your mouse at the very top above recording, like above recording, put your mouse there and
Yeah,
that
oh,
should
Okay,
show
now
up.
I see it. Now I
Okay.
see it.
Now, next to the apple, you see the word Zoom US.
Yes.
Click on Zoom US and then drag all the way down to hide Zoom.
Hide Zoom. Okay.
And now I should disappear and you should be able to see your computer now.
I guess. Doesn't look like my computer. Oh, maybe it is my computer. Okay. And then
good.
what?
And that computer, open a browser, a Safari browser. And once you do that, you should be able to write under the search or enter website name, you should be able to write sbcc.edu. For you guys here, you're like, oh, yeah, of course, I'm there. But the first time around, the first few weeks or first few classes at home, it's very confusing for people because they see me and they try to type in mine. They don't know what's there. So this is just an issue of being on Zoom. Once they figure it out, it'll be fine. But you guys have to be a little bit patient because they have that extra hurdle to jump through, okay?
I'm not jumping through that hurdle. Okay.
Well, right now, if you hid me from screen, everything that you're seeing on your computer should just be yours.
No. How do I can't get you off my screen. How do I do that? Go above that.
Let's do
Okay,
this.
I'm-
I'm gonna stop my share.
Yeah, I'm doing my Apple.
I need you to share your screen so that I can see what's happening. That said, I won't see your Zoom, and so I'll still have to guess a little bit. So, everyone who's in the back of this room, can you talk much quieter if you're gonna talk? Because I'm raising my voice more and more and more, and I'm just getting really, I can't hear myself speak.
Okay, so I see my stuff now. I touched the
Lower
app.
than that, lower than that. I really need you guys to whisper. Thank you. All right. Honora, I need you to share your screen. We practiced this last week. I'm gonna walk you through it.
You did? Okay, I just do share screen.
Share
That?
screen, and then on the right side of that, you see another button that says share, blue letters. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so first of all, I see notes is open. Go ahead and click on that thing that says what's new in notes. And yeah, close that from there. You'll learn later it's a better place to close from, but that's okay. All right, now on the bottom on your dock, I see, for example, that you have Chrome open. Right click and quit. Right click.
Click. Oh,
Okay. Do you know how to right click?
no, I just went to
Okay,
pipe.
so that's fine. So close that up. Let me just explain to you what right click is.
Close Chrome.
No, let me explain to you how to do that. Um,
Okay,
A right click, are you on a pad or on a mouse?
I'm on a mouse.
Okay, so when you, this is for everyone. I want everyone to practice their right click now. Go to where it's like pink or purple, which is your desktop, not on, like put your mouse over the pink or purple area of your screens. You guys here at home. When you click on that screen, look at your mouse, there's a right or a left button. Do you have a mouse that has a right or left button, or do you have one of the magic mouses that doesn't look like it has a button?
That's the one I have, the magic one.
Okay, because the magic mouse doesn't look like it has a button. Okay, guys, this is the magic mouse. Who has one of these at home? It doesn't look like it has a button, okay? So this mouse, and I'm gonna put it in front of the screen here. Where do you see it? Here. This one doesn't look like it has
We
a
don't see it.
side. Doesn't look like it has two sides. Okay, I don't want to stop the share because Hannah is sharing, but I'll show it to you later when I stop the share. So it's hard to do a right click on that. I'm gonna go ahead and in order to have a right click, which everyone needs to be able to do a right click, I'm going to see if she can enable her right click. I'm talking to the people in school, in class right now. I have one of these for each to use, hidden in that cabinet. If you at home have one of these and you want to practice using them, I can bring them out and check them out to you for a class and then you return it, okay? But there's enough going on today where we're still getting accustomed to stuff. For today, use these. But I will show you, because if this is what you own, there is a right and a left side to it, okay? Even though you don't see that line. But on the ones that you have in front of you, it's very clear what is left and what is right. And then there's like a little wheel on this that's a scrolling thing at home. But if you have one of these, you just kind of do up and down like this. So for now, I'm just gonna work with Honora because she has one of these and she needs to know how to use it, but then I'll show the whole class. So what you have right now is more apps than we want to be opened. So go down to your dock.
Yeah,
Okay. So if you go down to your dock and hold over the Chrome, that one.
yeah,
Give it a try. There you go. That's a right click. Now you see the very bottom choice is quit.
yes.
Yeah, give it a quit. Now, everyone, if you're not looking at your screen, you're missing out on something. I'm teaching you how to quit an application correctly. Because those of you who click on the red dot, that's not the way to do it. You know how you say, oh, I'm gonna click it if I click the red dot. One thing you'll learn right now is that that's not the way to do it. So the way you do it is you go now to the notes that you have, the next app you have open. Nope, we don't want to open quit Chrome. I want you to quit it again. So go back down. No, not that way. What you're about to do, please listen, Hanru.
I'm listening. Okay, sorry.
You were getting over to the little red dot to close it and I stopped her. That's like 99% of you do that. It's not just Hanru. That's how everyone thinks you close an app, but that's not how you close an app. And I'll show you why later when a little bit more advanced. How you do it is by quitting. And the easiest way to quit is like that, from the right click on the dock, okay? So now, so leave it closed. We don't want Chrome open. The next thing that you have there is notes. On the dock, I see a little black dot under note. Don't close, don't use the red dot. Stop your body from using the red dot.
What red dot?
Yeah, you were trying to go to the red dot there to close that window. And I said, no.
Oh, okay.
That's not how you close it. So go to your dock, put your mouse on your dock.
On the
Okay.
bottom?
Yes. Now go to the right and find the notes app, which is that yellow and white one. Move two more. Yeah. Right click. Right click. Okay. And because it's new, it's going to say continue. Say continue. And then say cancel. See, it says turn on iCloud. That's the kind of stuff we're going to learn. Okay. Now that it's running, go down to the notes and right click and quit. Right click. No. Don't quit from there. Every time you go to the red dot, I'm saying don't. Go
Okay,
to
so
the note right there.
Okay,
Right,
how do I
right.
quit it?
right click. Like
On the
quit-
right side? Of,
you did it for the Chrome. That's why I thought you knew how to do it. The right side of your mouse,
yeah.
click on it. Your mouse needs to be. nope,
On notes, yeah,
Right.
okay. On the right side of it?
There we go. That's a right click. And now hit quit. Mhm.
Oh.
So now you've opened something on the left that's loading. So we need to do that. Okay. See what you just did that you went to the red dot?
Yeah,
That's what I said don't do.
oh,
Whenever I say don't go to the red dot,
don't do it.
that's not the way to close an app. And I can't show you why right now. Just trust me. It's not the way to close an app. Just right now, use the right click and quit. Perfect. Quit. Great. Now on the far right, you have a messenger, right click and quit. So the little like lightning, don't clicking on stuff, go to the furthest right Keep
Where
going to
to
the right, and there's a, yeah, now like, there's like that little icon that's like a lightning bolt on pink.
Uh-huh.
Right click, right click. Right click, okay,
Welcome to Messenger.
yeah, so this one, you're gonna have to, go ahead and see if you can right click to quit it.
Okay.
And quit. Now, I know it took a few times, and that's because she is bravely sharing, but every one of you guys who has never quit from down there it's a learning experience, right? So hopefully everyone at home has done that with anything else that's open. You guys will practice in a minute when I have you guys open other stuff, but that's the correct way to quit an app. I'm going to show you a couple of other versions, but it's never the correct way to click that red dot that I kept saying, no red dots, right? And if it sounded weird, and thank you so much for being the guinea pig here, Honora, but I think everyone heard me say it enough times that you got it. Whenever I say no red dots, that's what everyone thinks is how to close. That is not the way how to close. You keep the programs running that way. So now you're in the perfect spot, Honora. And now this, what's in front of you is Safari, right? So go ahead and click right where your mouse is. Just give a single click.
Where it
Yes,
says-
right now, just on the neutral area, exactly where you were, not on Apple, right there, neutral. Yeah, click.
Uh-huh.
And now you see search or enter website name, like right on the top, click in there and write sbcc.edu. And then hit return or enter. So good. Now, everyone, go to the left P on the pipeline. Many of you already are doing that or did that. Click on the P for pipeline. And then put in your username and password.
Oh gosh.
Okay, so the username is C Jenka or CY Jenka or C whatever Jenka. Never your name. So what is it? Do you know the one that you? CA. Yeah, I read it too the other day. CA Jenka. Okay, yeah, there you go. And it's memorized. And okay, now say login. Click on login. Right here.
I'm assuming I used to use your mouse, I always use the mouse.
That password for now, that's good. Okay, so cancel that. You're gonna go ahead and click on that thing that says Natalie with your mouse. Click your mouse. And click where it says enter your username. Where it says enter your username. Click in there. And now select that. Yeah. Now just say login with your mouse. Okay. There it is. Perfect. Now, let's go to student. Everyone go to the word student and go to student resources. And you go to-
Where does it say student?
Oh,
On the black line.
I'm coming, guys. Over here, it says student. Right under the word pipeline, it says student. Let me
Oh,
let this over. Yeah, yeah, perfect. And two down, it says student resources. There, now click. Perfect. So guys, once you enter your username and password, on the top left, you're going to see. I have the two-factor authentication. Hold on. Give me a sec because I need to put in my code. 0, 1, 7, 8, 2. Okay. Once you're in the student word, you need to go down to student resources. And once you're in student resources, on the far right of that page, yep, you see Google Drive. Click on the word Google Drive, not on the icon, because I think the icon isn't linked. It's just go to the right a tad, like to the word Google Drive.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So over here where it says Google Drive. Oh, you guys didn't go yet to student. So student resources, the second or third choice down.
okay, then I'm in your classroom. Woohoo! Introduce instruction to math.
So guys, look at my screen. Oh, I'm not, I'm sharing her screen now. On the far right, you'll see Google Drive. Now, that's your Google Drive. Let's back out a little bit. Go to oh no, or scroll down, I think it's there, that way, okay, Google Drive. So let's have it compare. It's just teaching you, so I just put on X. I did this the other day, the first time you use it, it has a lot of like. And now go to shared drives. Now, oh, you're not in the class yet. Since you're not in my class yet, you don't have all the class files. I'll give you once you're registered. You'll have the files. For now, just watch. Hold on. Okay. Okay, and now what you have there is go down on the left side where it says home, go to the shared drives. There in shared drives. And there you are, Mac intro and level 1. Double click on that. Everyone go to shared drives on the left column. And here we are in the class files. This is Honora still sharing her screen. You're doing great. Let me watch and make sure everyone here has. Okay, double click to get into that. And in your case, go to Google Drive. Click on that. To the word Google Drive, not the icon. The word Google Drive. Click on that because that's the link. And then over here, shared drives. Okay, if double click isn't working, then say right click and open. But double click, it has to happen really fast. Maybe it's easier if you sit like, just grab the mouse really comfortably. and sit like that.
I never use a mouse.
Right, so here's the thing. For those of you who've never used a mouse, this is kind of new I have not. In the closet, I have mice for you, for those of you who mouse at home, and I have pads like this. And I'm gonna bring them out if need be after break, which imitate your pads, like your finger. For those of you who at home have a computer and they've never used a mouse, then we'll set these up. It's just that since we haven't used them for years, I'm pretty sure that they're all discharged. And I've asked IT to charge them, but they haven't told me yet if they've charged them, which means that they won't work until they're charged, right? So, but I do have enough cables that if we, after break, all connect them, hopefully we'll have them charged enough that we'll be able to keep using them. And then I'll ask them to make sure to charge everything, because there's like only 8 of us, and 3 or 4 of you will want a mouse and 3 or 4 of you want a pad. And that'll give us a chance to charge them for today. But, which is why I haven't given them out yet, because they're not charged. But for now, bear with me and do what you can with the equipment that you have. If you're running in trouble because you've never used a mouse, just tell me and I'll come and help you, okay? If I'm asking you to do something that just a mouse does. Okay, so here are the class files. Go ahead, and the first one to the left is the Zoom class recordings. Double click on that one.
I have a question, Deanna.
1 second, because someone had raised their hands here first. So yes. Betty had asked me. Oh, Martha, yes.
I'm sorry, I'm at this.
Go to the shared drives, yeah, and then
Oh.
when you see Mac, you double click on that. Yeah, double click on that to enter it, and there you are.
Okay.
Okay,
I did
double
remember
click to enter that.
I have to double click on that.
Double click to get into my folder. Yeah, that's my folder that holds all the class files. Okay, and then
Oh,
the
this
top
one.
one is the one that has all the links for this class. That's what Hanra is showing up here. And anyway, I have videos with all of this so that you can catch up to how to do this by next week. Okay, so double click on James on the first file you see there that says Zoom. You
Yeah.
too, Jane. Yeah, that one, double click on that one. Now, remember what I said last time, that we're gonna be helping each other in pairs? So, Jane and Gladys, like, Gladys can't do it right now, she's not registered, but you guys can help each other, and then James and Don, can you help Don and James help each other? Betty and Martha, and ideally Cynthia and Lisa, because Lisa's just looking at me, but you need a lot of help, and she needs a lot of help, so Martha's trying to help both of you guys, so it's better if Lisa helps Cynthia and Martha and Betty help each other. Does that make sense? So it's 2 instead of 3 over there, which becomes really confusing when how 3 people are talking. So if Cynthia and Lisa can connect, okay, can you try do that? And then Betty and Martha, that will help go on, because then that way both of you have one person to help instead of Martha having 2 people. Okay, got it, Lisa? Is that good? All right, so now, this was just how to get to the class files. As you can see, I told you last class that you would see the recording of day 1, and there's the link under day 1, January 29th. That link takes you to the recording of last week's class. By tomorrow, under day 2, you will see another link, and that'll be today's recording. Okay? And Gladys, once you're registered, you'll see this, and then you can catch up. The first class, the first hour, there was a lot of technical stuff going on, so there was not that much learning going on. After that, you can see stuff that was happening. Okay. All right, so you're fine. I'm going to stop your share. Honora, thank you so much for sharing and for going through all of this to guinea pig the whole quit and all that.
Yeah, my screen is off there now, good.
Irma, your hand is up.
Yes, when I opened the Mac intro level 1 and 2 share, the first file that you asked us to open was the Zoom class recordings. Mine, when I open it, hold on, where is it? There we go. When I open it, it has the 23 dates on it.
Is that where, was it you that was happening last week? Was it someone else?
No, it's somebody else, but I had, when I finally got into mine, they were also 23.
It's so weird.
Diana, that's because that's the Mac 2. If we go to intro, there are the new ones, the 24.
Mine, the one next to it says HiFlex, level 1 HiFlex. That's also 23. And
Yeah,
I don't have anything that says other than those 2 that open with Zoom.
yeah,
keys.
someone else had that. Wasn't it you last week? Someone else had that. That they
No,
could,
somebody else had
It
it,
was
but then
me.
it was you. Has it
it was-
fixed?
yeah.
Jackie, do you
Okay,
have it
so-
too or not?
So, what I found, Diana, was, I went this morning and I scrolled down. At the very top, it was like last spring, or last fall. And then I scrolled down and voila, there was, I'm looking at, today.
Oh, right at the bottom.
So maybe if she scrolls down, and then when I came back to it, was right at the top, so it had readjusted.
Okay, I have
Okay,
the HiFlex.
So I see I see what could be happening to you. Okay, so watch. I'm gonna share my screen. What could be happening is that you're sorting them in a way that you're seeing. Yeah, so we haven't had yet Mac 1 and Mac 2. So if you go to the very, very bottom, it says Zoom class recording links level 1 and 2, fall 2023. So the old information and the old links are still here for Mac level 1. This happened in October. For Mac level 1 is still in the future for us, right? So those are the old links. Mac level 2, it's the old links. But at the top, you should see Intro to the Mac Spring 2024. Does that make sense? In a few weeks, we'll start with Mac level 1 and I'll have the spring dates. But right now, those are links to last session's Mac level 1 and Mac level 2.
Right, I have the one at the bottom, but I only have.
Got it. Now,
the
if you
HiFlex.
have them set up at the bottom like that, it's because they got upside down. So see this little arrow? If you click on this arrow, now you have bottom up or
I'm sorry,
up
how
down.
did you, I was looking in the wrong place. How do I find that?
See this little arrow here next to your name? When you click on
Hold on a
that,
second. Let me go, I gotta get,
alphabetical.
okay.
It's alphabetical order. Right now, the Zoom, I forced it to be up front, but then you start A, B, C, D. If you click on this arrow, it's backwards. W, S, H, it's backwards. So Z is first and those are the old files. So click on this.
Mine doesn't look like that is what I'm telling you. So wait, I gotta go to the list. If I go to the list, then now say, okay, now do what? I'm on the list now.
Arrow. It's the same, even had you been on this, then
So look at the other way. Okay, got it done.
that little arrow makes you things in alphabetical order or in list mode.
Right.
Okay. Guys, we're gonna be using this all semester from here till the end of, May, so, or April, whenever the 1, 2, and 3 intro 1 and 2 finishes. So that's why it's important that you guys get how to use this. It's not yet about how to use the Mac, but in a way you're becoming accustomed to using clicks and links and mouse and all that kind of stuff. I think I saw a hand here. Nope.
Yes.
Oh, over there. Okay. Yeah.
At the bottom of my screen, it says get notifications on your desktop for shared files and important events. Turn on, or there's an X. And I
Yeah.
noticed when you were sharing a screen with one of the women in the class, she also had that bar.
Yeah, it's if you want a little Mac notification to appear going, ooh, a file was added. Ooh, a file was taken away. I would say no.
Just turn the X then?
Say no, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Notifications are something we're gonna go through. That it's when the computer or your phone, computer notifies you of something you want to be notified. So you only want to say yes to the ones that you want. You want all the time be barraged with things, right? So do you really want to know every time I add something to the shared drive? Probably not. So just say no to that, and then you'll live a much more comfortable life without having like constant notifications. Only say yes to the ones that matter. All right. I'm going to clear all your guys' answers. Everyone here has the file in front of them. Hopefully you all did too. They're at home. This file, I mean, the links. And once you get here, Gladys, I'd like you to go to this survey once you have the things and answer some questions about the survey. The rest of you guys, hopefully you already did it. And this is a reminder of how to get to the hard files. But I emailed you all these links, so you should have all this in the email that I sent you the day before yet. No, yet. Yeah, I think I sent it on Monday. Okay. So this is part of what we did. Now, we're going to go ahead and not close this completely. We're just going to minimize this so that it doesn't disappear. And yeah, so how we're going to do that, there's many different ways of minimizing things or hiding things. The important thing is to do it in a way that I can come back to this and not have to find all of this. So one way is to go over here to this little yellow dot on the left side. I have red, yellow, and green. The yellow one minimizes stuff. Let's click on that yellow one. And it goes, and it kind of like does this genie thing and puts itself away. And if you go look at where it put itself away, way down here, you should see between the trash and if you have anything else, you should see that if I hover over this, it says the name Mac Intro Level 1. And if I click on it again, boom, it popped in again. So we're going to minimize and then open this up. That's where it went. It puts itself there. It's like you need to use your desk for something else. So you just kind of put it to the side for a little bit.
Wait, how did you do that?
So watch my screen, watch my, okay, there you go. Thank you, Lisa. But look down here, look at my screen. Down at the bottom of the dock, next to the trash, that there is where things minimize themselves to. So when you click on that one time, it goes, oh, here I was. And you're back exactly where you were with all the same tabs open and everything. Okay, we're gonna do that to clear our screen of stuff that we don't want to quit. If we quit, we close it up and we have to find stuff again. We just want to scooch it out for a little bit. We minimize and we open it again. So do that a few more times. Yeah.
How do I do that? Minimize, where do I minimize it? I don't see, oh,
Click on the yellow dot at the top left of the screen. There's the red.
yes, I'm not seeing my screen. You're taking up my whole screen. I forget how to do that. I'm old.
No, it's okay. Who's speaking again? I'm sorry.
Honor. Honora.
Okay, Honor, you should be seeing me on your iPad only.
Really? I don't see you, I just see that screen.
Not me, my screen on your iPad. And in front of you, you should have your own computer. And if you don't,
Yeah,
then
I'm viewing your screen. Oh, view options? Then I can go to 50%, but then it's still
No.
black.
no. For what's on your computer, I want you to hide Zoom. I want you to, because after we stopped your share, I filled your screen again. So go up to the word Zoom next to the apple and
Oh,
go
yeah.
ahead and say Zoom US hide.
Okay, Zoom US and then hide.
And now you
Where
should
does
have
it
your,
say- Oh, hide Zoom. Okay, got it.
and now you should have your own software open where you went into this because you were sharing it. And that's when over here on the top left, you know, I kept saying, don't go to the red, don't go to the red. That's the red I don't want you to use, but I do want you to use a little yellow that's in right next to the red.
But I hide Zoom first.
Yes, hide Zoom. Hide
I'm
Zoom.
hiding it, but it's still not hidden.
Mhm.
Well, if you click on the word hide, it should hide. It's worked before with you, so.
It's not working right now. Okay. Huh.
Other than, you did it before, so I know it can be done. Do you see the word zoom.us up by the apple?
Yes.
Okay. And when you get to hide and you click, nothing, right, just regular click, not a special right click or anything, just regular click, nothing happens?
No, it's smaller. Well, it just says I'm viewing your screen. It's not, I can't see my screen.
Okay, go ahead and share your screen again, because when I just left you, you were, it could be that when I share my screen, it fills your screen again. That's probably what's happening.
Right. Yeah, that's what's happening.
Then you see your dock.
You know what's happening is that you was fine while you were sharing, but when I shared mine, which I'm gonna share again, it again fills your screen. So hit the escape key, the top left escape key of your keyboard.
Oh, okay.
And
Ooh,
now,
now
yeah.
I can see my
Now you
screen.
can see, okay, it's just that when I share again, it tries to fill up again, and I forgot about that, so good. So now go and minimize your screen. Minimize your browser by hitting that yellow thing. So everyone open and close it a few times.
Oh, yellow thing. Okay. Wow, you're really minimized.
The Creative Cloud, we don't need it at all. It's a whole different feature, so let's look in your browser. Here we go. So this is where you were. Somehow it got closed, okay? We're gonna go into your history and take you back in.
How do I make it big?
Give me a second. I'll put you in this later, but right now I'm just trying to get you into the class. This is where we were. Okay, so now click on that yellow thing to minimize. Yellow dot. Yeah, and then we're here and click on this to open it up. Now, I'm gonna something I do. How many of you guys are not comfortable with a mouse? Raise your hands here and raise your hands in the computer, like you've never used a mouse. Raise your hands, or not, no, sorry, not never, you're not comfortable with your mouse. Like your table ends and you can't move it enough and you kind of have to drag everything around when you go from one end to the other. Who's at that kind of position? I know Betty, you too. Anyone else, please answer. You're all
No.
comfortable with your mouse? Okay. How about at home?
Yeah,
does-
love it. Love it. I'm comfortable with it.
Here's the thing, I want to show you something for you newbies with a mouse. A mouse can be used, and I have this monitor here now, which before I couldn't, this one isn't live, and that's what's hard to see. You know how when you run out of table, which happens to a lot of people, you're like dragging across the screen and you're out of table. Just so you know, a mouse can be used just by, like when you're kneading dough or something that you just kind of go like this and wave, so you don't need to go all the way like that to move it. You can just do that, bring it back up and do that, bring it back up and do that. So that you cannot have to use an entire table to move it from one corner to the other, okay? So just kind of do like this.
This mouse here also.
Yeah, but it's just that I can't, my cabled one, I can't show. But you can just do it in little spurts like that, okay? Just so you don't feel like, let me move my notes and my table and my keyboard and whoops, I'm down at the bottom. So this one, you would just do like that and that would help and move it, let you see let you move. So if I'm going from the top to the bottom here, I can just go like in little bits and pieces like that and work. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen again.
Deanna.
Yeah.
Can you right click on the Magic Mouse, just on the right hand side of it?
Yes and no. For those of you who have a magic mouse, you first need to enable the right click and then it'll work. And it's in the preferences and the settings. So wait until everyone has a magic mouse and then I'll show you because you have to set it up. If you just try to use this right click, when it comes out of the store, it doesn't have a right click. It works as one big regular click. So in the settings, you enable the right click, but wait until we all have it and then you'll know what I'm talking about. This whole process was A, to get you back to the handouts, B, to get you to start looking at windows. Technically, you have it minimized or not. Let's all expand it again, which is to fill your screen again. Okay, so you minimize or you expand.
You just pull on the corners, right? There's,
All I did was click. I didn't pull in any corners. This is the same size it's been all this time. All I'm doing is picking it up from way down at the bottom here, single click, and it fills up again. It pulls up.
I see.
That's my reminder to give you guys a break, but hold on. I want to finish a little bit more. Yes.
I have on my personal one, I've lost the password. Is that what they're called? They're in the bottom, and when I go down. It disappears. It disappears.
Don't want that. I'll teach you how to change it. But now change it for you. And then,
Mine looks different than yours.
no. And then now it'll be there. And I'm gonna take a. Okay, so, all right, so this window here is just a window. We call it a window. Now, why do we call it a window? Because anything that's like floating like this on top of something else can be modified in size. If I go to the edges of the window, so say that I put my mouse right there at this edge and see how it turns into a double-headed arrow. Now I can click and drag down and I've made the shape and size of this window thinner. I can click and drag it up and make it bigger, but you need to do this always in neutral areas. Don't try to do this near a button or you might end up doing something that a button does. So this is a neutral area and now I can move it up or down, okay? I can also go to this area, but again, avoid anything, go to spaces that are empty and then I can make it fatter or thinner. Everyone practice what I'm showing you. Bottom, up and down, or left, in and out.
And that works on that.
Same. Are you, unless you're full screen? Yeah, if you're full screen, the screen keeps it full screen. Now, you're so expanded. There it is. Very hard to do that. Okay. All right, and let me show one more thing that you all can practice. That's to make it bigger or smaller, but then watch the top bar of a window is called like the title bar. And in a way it's telling me I'm in my drive.com. So that's the title bar. Any neutral place on the title bar of a window, I can click and drag to move my window around. Okay, so it's any neutral part. Here's neutral too, so I can move it from there. So now you can make it smaller, bigger, wider, or move it. And here's the cool thing, if you go from a corner, you can do both tall and wide at the same time. A corner, any corner moves both width and height at the same time. Instead of having to go side and side, any of the four corners, make sure not to touch the red button. Any corner gives you both in and out at the same time. So now move this around everywhere, and now I'm gonna go home. Okay, so. Ready? Now, go ahead and try sideways. Nope. Go ahead and wait until it gets double-headed arrow. Yeah, double-headed arrow. Now click. And drag it now and down. Now you're using the scroll bar as opposed to moving the thing. So go over here and not this gray area, but wait until it gets two-headed arrows. Go over there. More to the right. More to the right. Yeah. See when it has a double-headed arrow? Go. Now, you're still using only the scroll bar. Go to a place that has nothing. Because when there's a scroll bar, it's confusing. Go down here. Yep. Double a bit more. Bit more. There. Now click and drag up. Making it smaller. Okay. Now, go from up there. And wait until your tip up there, and now click and drag down. Making it skinnier. Thinner. Got it. What?
Well,
That's fine. I'm just showing you how to modify it. Right now, the whole point is how do we make our windows change to our needs? In this case, it would be too thin, right? But then, now let's move it from any neutral area of the top bar, like grab over here. Never gonna move it as opposed to change its shape. So move it a little bit lower down. Hold on. Perfect. Okay. Now we're gonna move it. So to move it, you need to be in the white bar, not on the edge of it. So put your mouse in here, right in the middle of my finger, down, 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 down. Up there. Now click and drag, and now you can move it. Okay. And for you guys who have laptops, this is exactly the same. There's nothing different. You would be touching your finger down and dragging it up. So try that again and put it like here. So let's move it over here. Inside. There. Now that we're moving it all the way up. And now keep moving to the left. There you go. Perfect. Now you can grab the bottom and stretch it out. But the tip. Two-headed arrow, not going to, no. Move it until it gets two-headed arrow. There, now drag. Now drag down. So, guys, you have to look at your mouse. It has to change shape. So watch. If I'm doing something, the only part of this mouse that matters is the tip. Notice that I can have my mouse almost on top of that line. And it's not turning into a double-headed arrow. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And then when the tip touches, then it turns into a headed arrow. See, tip. So the only part of a mouse that's active, my entire mouse, the only thing that matters is the very, very, very tip. When I say put the mouse on the something, people go, but I'm doing it because you might have most of your mouse on it. But most of your mouse on it right now, in this case, it's turning into a hand. It's not changing. It needs to be really, see the tip of that finger, that teeny little icon? It's not on the words class files to download. It takes just a tad less to finally be in, and then I can click on it. It's the very tip of the mouse, or in the case of when it has a hand, the very tip of the finger, because sometimes the mouse turns into a finger. So this is my mouth. So again, see here, I'm touching the activity. Now I'm just putting the tip of my finger above. Most of my mouth is still on top of activity, but the tip of the finger was up. I'm selecting home. You see what I mean? It's only the very tip of the mouse that matters. It's most of my hand is still here in activity, but I'm pointing to home because the tip of the finger is touching home. Does that make sense, you guys? Here I have most of my arrow on top of the word home and nothing's happening until the tip of my finger enters that area. So remember, when I say Go to the bottom and touch the bottom. You're like, I'm touching the bottom. Like, nope, you're not touching the bottom. Because the arrow still isn't turning into double-headed arrow. You need to go all the way down there, and then it turns into double-headed arrow. There, not there, but there, okay? So it's a pretty magic little spot, the tip of your mouse. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and minimize this window again. Who remembers how to minimize? Yellow icon, click, minimize. Okay, if it expanded, everyone look over here for a second. If it filled your screen like you did her, you know, sometimes it fills your screen and you're like, oh, where's everything else here? Hit your escape key.
What?
Your escape key, just the ESC.
Oh, you disappeared.
Try again, just really, really tap it. Out. Hold on. I'm in your face. Crazy. So, if for some reason the escape key is not working on this one, so watch. I don't know if you can see, I'm gonna go do it up there, but when there's all, you've lost your dog, you've lost the top, the apple. If you put your mouse right there at the top, like you touch the top of your screen, it disappears. If you touch the bottom of your screen, the dog. That's the whole like fill your screen. It's all hiding, but it's there as long as you touch the top or the bottom of the screen. So now you can go ahead and.
Does it matter?
Now.
Talking about screen, does it matter which?
Yeah.
No.
If you're in here and you touch over there, it still pops in, but you don't have to go over here. So when you're in that mode, you can't, there's no yellow. So you first need to minimize exit full screen. Okay, but if I think you have double clicked on something to make it go big. Have that one. That green is full screen. And minimize. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna show you, it's hard, it's a bit harder to show it here, but I was showing that if you, there's this thing called full screen, which is this green button. Okay, now I wanted everyone to try, I was gonna show you one more thing, but first let me show you this. Bring this up again, and then next to the yellow is the green button. If you hover over it, it has all these choices, but if you don't hover over anything and just click on the green button, you're entering full screen. The green button is entering full screen. When you enter full screen, go ahead and enter full screen by clicking on the green button. It's like you've lost your dock and you've lost the top little apple. It's like, okay, this is great. It's on my screen, but where's all the stuff that I had before? Okay. Now, what I was showing them here in person, and I'm going to show it to you guys at home, is if I now were to like bang my mouse against the bottom, boom, dock appears. Take my mouse up, dock disappears. In this full screen mode, what they're saying is, oh, you don't want to be interrupted by all the menus and bars. So I'm going to put my whole app up there. And if you want me, you have to go find me by hitting the bottom to find the dock, or by hitting the top to find the Apple menu. This is the menu bar that handles. And then when I move away, it disappears. That's full screen mode. Okay. Full screen mode, for some people, it's wonderful. For some people, it's horrible. It's okay. There's choices. My son loves being in full screen mode. I can't stand being in full screen mode. We have our likes and dislikes, but if you need to go know how to get into it and how to get out of it. We got into it by clicking on that green button. So to get out of it, you can once again hit that green button and you exit full screen mode. So now let's do that. Enter full screen mode. To
Yeah.
find the red dots, now you need to hit the top and then exit.
Well, now I'm on a different screen entirely. Come back soon. Where are
Now
you?
hit the button to exit. And now enter it again. Now hit the very top there. Out and in, out and in. Is it working for everyone here? Yeah.
Well, say that again.
Yeah. So what we're doing here is using the green button, which is our full
Yeah.
screen mode. So,
I did that and then
and then there's no green button to test, to press because it's gone. So to get it, you need to put your mouse against the top, like go bang yourself against the top, boom. And
Uh-huh.
there it is, it appears. And then you can click on the exit full screen.
Oh, okay.
It's like you hit your mouse against the top or the bottom to pick up either of the two menus. If you don't know that, then full screen is a very frustrating place to be because how do I move out of this place, right? You move out of this place by doing that. The other thing that you could usually move out of this place by hitting the escape button, which I just did, but for some reason I was doing it with Cynthia and it wasn't working. So watch, enter full screen mode. And now I want to exit. I'm going to just go and click on my escape key. Escape full screen mode. Okay, so go and do that, enter full screen mode, and then go to your keyboard, top left key of your keyboard is escape, click on escape, and that's another good way to escape full screen mode. And so you need to open your, right now it's, okay, now enter full screen mode. So that's the green, never the red one. Yeah. And now instead of doing that, hit the escape key.
Yeah, that's easier.
Yeah, one escape.
Yours doesn't.
Mine's not working that way.
It's funny. I think when you're in Google Docs, it doesn't work. Try it again now. Go to green and now hit the escape key. Guys, so when you, let me explain something I'm noticing because two people showed me. When you're in the Google Docs, this is Google Docs, long story, it doesn't matter. When you're in this intro to the Mac HyFlex, if you hit the escape key, it's not working because this is it's an app inside of an app. This is the Google Screen Doc. So that's why it wasn't working. But when you're in any other part, like then if you hit the escape key, it'll work. It's just that when you open this in here, you're in the thing called Google Docs and that app uses the escape key for something else. So for the most part, 99% of the time, the escape key works on that screen. Okay.
I do.
Have it set up, but when I do that, and then it's-
No, I don't feel good. Until tomorrow.
I just got it. Those, that's what I do. I just bought a new iPad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got the Magic Mouse. And all that. So I've been trying to play with this for the last couple of months. And it's good.
Yes,
It's probably
tab,
forced me to
that
learn.
appeared in some
Yeah.
computers.
Other than that, I don't.
Well, I mean, I've had a Mac for
Disabled some of the settings. Escape.
for like 6 years. And I remember
Now,
my daughter,
no, there was a green one.
right on my son.
Okay, guys, every now and then you'll have a personal computer that something works a little bit differently, so it's good to call my attention. How did it work at home? Did everyone get to enter full screen mode and escape full screen mode?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I ran roughshod over your guys' break. My alarm kept ringing and I just silenced it, which is no good because then how do I remember to give you guys a break? Here's the thing, class should be over at 4:40, but I was gonna give you guys a 10-minute break. Do you wanna go on a break now and then we still leave at 4:40, or do you wanna go till 4:30 and then you leave 10 minutes early? What's the preference?
Is the office open? I gotta go check.
The office will be open at least for sure until 5. No, I don't know how much longer. Sometimes it's open till 8, but for sure till 5 always.
Okay, so I can do that.
So, so I'm gonna get a vote. Do you want to take a break? And then have another half-hour class, or do you want to keep going and then end 10 minutes earlier? Okay, so here's what I'm gonna tell you. For yes, for those of you who are at home, yes, if you want to take a break. That's the green check mark. And everyone who wants to take a break, raise your hands now. If you yes want to take a break. And then no, if you just want to keep going.
How do you make a check mark? I forget.
So no one, if you didn't raise your hand for yes, that means that you want to keep going.
I don't care. I didn't raise my hand for that.
Either way, no one here and then no. Okay, so basically that tells me that other than one person, you all want to keep going. Okay.
I'll just take a break.
Yeah, if you need to run to the bathroom or something, go do that, but sorry. I apologize for that. I showed you how I have alarms telling me that, but I was trying to finish this, and I kept trying to finish this, and next thing I know, I'm looking at the time and it just ran away with me. So I apologize. I'll give you a break next time. All right. So let me now, let's minimize this one now. Now that you've learned how to escape and not escape. And now we're gonna open up something called a Finder window. Now I minimize it because I don't want to close Safari yet. I want to open a Finder window. Now what's the Finder window? This little half white, half blue face is our Finder icon. We're gonna click on that one time, single click on it, and a window will pop up, which will not look like mine. Yours will probably be very empty. Let's minimize this one first, on the yellow. I need to remember to tell your neighbors to look at you on that right there. Yeah, click where you are. And I grab that yellow thing and minimize. Perfect. Now you have to find your window. All right, one time. Okay, so here's the thing. This tail of the mouse has to be always pointed to the screen, always. If you have it like this, it's like you're driving sideways, pointed like that, and then it'll move the way you want it to. The moment you do that, it doesn't make sense. So always, always, always point it that way. To the
Finder.
Now you can go to the Finder window right there, to the Finder icon, and perfect. Now, for most of you guys here at school, all of you guys got a blank window. At home, you probably have something more like me, because the window that you just opened is titled Recents. And you haven't recently done anything. These computers, as far as they're concerned, you're new to this computer. So you have no recent actions, which is why you guys here at home, at school, have an empty screen. Versus I have a lot of stuff there because that's all the things that I've recently done. So ignore the fact that that says recent and mine looks different than you. But what is still the same is that on the top, I have a title bar. On the side, I have a thing called the sidebar. Okay. And in this title bar area, if I grab the neutral area, just like before, I click and drag, I can move this around. So the title bar area is always where I move things from, which is this top bar, okay? Every window you ever find, this is a totally different window than the other one, but it does the same thing. Any window, no matter what, from the left, you can change it, from the top, you can change its size, from the corners, you can move it. So everything we just did operates exactly the same, and from this title bar, we can move it. So test that out and confirm that that's true. So the word window is anything that shows you contents of some kind or another in a computer. It's always going to be a window. And all windows operate this way. The title bar is where we move it from, a neutral area of the title bar. And then corners, sides, and tops, let me change its positioning. Now, on the left side in the sidebar, we're all going to go and click on the word applications. 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 Now, for most of you guys, the word applications is going to show you something similar-ish to this. If you see something very different than this in the middle, don't worry, I'm going to show you now how to make us all see the same thing. But on the left side, you should see a selection around the word applications. Everyone look at your neighbors, make sure that your neighbor's in the right spot. And
I missed how to get here. How do I get here?
so when you first opened this window, it was by default set up in Resense.
So I
Now,
go to
application,
recents. What one did I open in recents?
nothing in Resense. You went
Oh.
from there to here, applications, from Resense to applications. Applications. So wherever you see the word applications, click on
see
it.
it.
If you don't
I-
see it, if you don't see it, it could be gone. Some people have gotten rid of their applications things and their personal computers. Do you
I
see
don't
the word applications anywhere, Honora?
No.
On your sidebar, anywhere on your sidebar, you don't see that word applications?
Is there, so I look for recents.
Okay, so maybe it's how to get that window. The whole window you get from going down to this little finder face, half smiley, half blue, half white. Click one time. That's how you get this window.
Okay, and what is it? It's recents?
It will by default be in Resense, and I want you to instead click on applications.
Okay, I'm not finding it. Let's see.
So did you open a finder window from here?
So I go to recents items and then I find finder.
No,
No.
no.
Nope.
Go
Oh,
down to this icon right here on the top bottom of your dock.
Yeah,
Top
Is-
left.
Okay, and the applications, okay, got it. And then what?
This is what we call a finder window. And hit
Yeah,
applications. Now, what is a finder window? Beyond the
application.
fact that it's a window, which is just showing us stuff, a finder window is what looks inside our computer and tells us where everything is. So it finds for us what's inside our computer. That's why it's a finder window. Who here used to be a PC user or still is a PC user? Okay, so on a PC is a bad name, a Windows user. PC is personal computers, which these are personal computers as well. But people by default say PC, they mean Windows. Okay, if you're a Windows user, the File Explorer is the equivalent to our Windows user. And I know that Fred is also someone who's used Windows. Who else is of you guys are at home are ex-Windows user or still have a Windows computer?
I do too.
Okay, so Windows computers use something called the File Explorer to look inside your computer to find stuff. On the Mac, it's called the Finder. And this is a Finder window. Now, when you are looking inside your computer, yeah,
It was the folder window.
that little folder icon.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you. That's there.
Yeah, so it shows it shows mostly the same things. It's not identical, but it's pretty much the same application. So these words that I see here on the left, these words are areas of my computer that we can explore. Imagine that your computer is like a house. Some people have 5 bedrooms. Some people have 1 bedroom. Some people have, 3-car garage. Some people have no garage. Each computer can be set up differently. But if this were a computer that comes straight out of the factory, like you walk in and everyone has, a bathroom, a kitchen, a bedroom, a living room. Basics. That's how a house comes. And then some of you go, well, I'm going to have 2 other bedrooms and I'm going to build this or that. You can add stuff to it. But out of the factory, you get kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, living room, right, whatever, basics. The Apple computers, all computers, come out of factory that way. You have kind of like areas in your house for certain things. Imagine a room for going to the bathroom, a room for eating, a room for a bedroom. That's what these things are. The computer comes out of factory with an area for your applications. Applications is the same as soft. Whenever I say, you hear the word, someone say program, application, app, software, it all kind of is synonymous. It means the same thing. Over the years, what word gets used has changed, right? But it's exactly, we used to call it, for many years, we called them programs. Then they started being called applications. Then now it's apps, right? And all of the whole thing is called software because imagine hardware is what you can touch. Software, what goes inside of the computers. Think of it that way, right? And what goes inside of the computer are applications, programming kind of situations. So there's a room called for applications. There's a room for your documents. There's a room for things that you download from the internet. There's a room where you see everything that's on your desktop. So these are called folders. There's a folder for your applications, a folder for your desktop, a folder for your documents, a folder for your downloads. These are, imagine the 4 rooms that your house is divided into. Does that make sense? So on a Mac, all applications, all software, everything that runs on a computer to make things happen goes and locates itself on the applications folder. And thus, these are the things that exist in our computer as applications. Now, for people who just are opening these school computers, when you go to your desktop, you should probably see nothing because these computers are empty of anything. You just open them up and there's nothing in them, right? So you should be seeing emptiness. Versus me, when I click on the word desktop, I have a bunch of stuff here. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Now, did you click on this desktop? Click on the word desktop. Yeah. Now, how about, what is a desktop? How come I have stuff on the desktop? The desktop is an area that is what we first see when we open a computer. I'm going to close this, and this is my desktop. This is my desktop, which, as you can see, has some stuff sitting around it, floating on it. You guys here who have an empty computer have one icon in your desktop, which says Macintosh hard drive, or what does it say? Mac OS or something like that. At home, you guys who are at home might either have nothing, a few things, or it could be a sea of icons, and it could be humongously full of stuff. Either way, that is the same thing that I am seeing when I open the Finder and I go to my desktop. This is exactly the same as that. It's like I am seeing through my Finder window these things. So let me look at the names. Here I have something that's called iCloud.com apps PNG. There it is, iCloud.com apps PNG. That's the same thing. Then I have this thing called evaluation teacher schedules. I look over here, evaluation teacher schedules. Then I have here something called Lumix manual, whatever, Lumix manual, PFD. There's the Lumix manual PFD. See how it's exactly the same stuff? And then the rest of these guys have this name called screenshot, and they only differ a little bit in the name, and it's all these screenshots right there. So what I'm seeing on the desktop is exactly what I am seeing on my desktop. Does that make sense? It's the same stuff. So that describes, when you click on this, you will see whatever's on your desktop, which describes how come you're seeing nothing on yours, because you have nothing on your desktop. Now, if you are an ex-Windows user, Windows computers are customarily full of stuff, and I'm going to call it junk, not in a pejorative way, but yes, in a pejorative way, because it's a mess to have tons of stuff on your desktop as far as a Mac user is concerned, versus a Windows user is like, well, it's the only way to get to my applications. That's how you get to applications, right? So a lot of people who transfer from one to the other on a Mac tend to do the same. They have a ton of stuff on their computers. Or if some other person is helping you use a computer, they'll say, just put it on the desktop because that's easier to find. I'm going to teach you how that is actually not true. And on top of that, on a Mac, using the desktop is really not a best, more sufficient way to work, because the Mac needs the desktop space in order to work efficiently. And the newer and stronger your computer is, the less important this becomes. But a lot of people who come here still have very old computers. And if your desktop is full of stuff, your desktop is beginning to slow down. Ideally, you'll have nothing on your desktop or very few things. So for those of you who bring their laptops next week, or for anyone who's at home, you probably are looking at your computer going, oh, wow, yeah, I have a lot of stuff here.
Yep.
But if it's not here, how would I find it, kind of thing, right? That would be like a typical thing to say. So I'm going to show better ways of how to put things away. and how to find them. So that's part of this whole, set of classes. But for now, whatever your computer is at is fine. It's got full or not. And that's why if you have a computer of your own to bring, it's better to bring it because then I really teach you with what you have versus with this ideal empty desktop, which is not realistic. Anyway, so let me just continue. Then we have the folder called Documents. And in the folder called Documents, you might, again, over here, have nothing, or you might have a ton of stuff. I'm going to give you things, everyone here who's in this computer, in this room, I'm going to give you stuff to put in this computer, download it from the handouts, so that everyone here has something on their computer to work with. So, before we go much further, that, and then downloads. Again, anything that came from the internet will be here. And again, you guys here have nothing. But if you guys go into your downloads at home, you'll see that anything you have in here has to do with things that you've downloaded from the internet, or photos that people have sent you, or an email that came with a form you need to fill out, or stuff like that will be under downloads. We'll explore a lot of this in Mac, Intro to the Mac Level 1. That's a class where we just focus on nothing but file management to really understand where things are, where to put them, how to make things work better. That's where we're going to do file management in macOS Level 1. So for now, it doesn't matter too much what is in any of these computers, okay? In any of these folders. We're going to be doing work with all that stuff. But for now, I want us to practice by downloading our class files. So go down to the minimized Safari, open that up. And if you're still in the Zoom class recording links or anywhere else, click on this folder. And I know some of you have lost it. I'll go and help you. But the ones who are seeing this, go to the word class files to download, right click, and download. Now, I'm going to help people here who don't know how to find it. For people who are at home, here's my suggestion. If you have a lot of files on your computer, like you already have files because it's your computer and you have stuff, then don't download these. Just work with your own files. But if at home, you're just bought your computer, you don't have much to work with, and you want to learn how to work with stuff, then do download these class files because we're going to need them. So when you right click on this thing and say download, you'll see that a folder is being downloaded. Let that happen. Meanwhile, I'm going to help people find this. Okay, so if you go here, that little, yeah, remember.
Oh, I see. Class files to download.
Okay, and now let's go to history. I know you have it all.
Okay. I think I did it.
Get accustomed to not doing any of that because you always come to the front of your screen, put your hand in here, and only use this finger for that. And this one I say right click, this and right click. Like never use any other finger or I'll get confused. So now with this mouse like that, go to this. Go to history. And go to home Google Drive. Okay. And now go to shared drive. So that means we're ready. Good, and it's beginning to download, so you're fine. All right, head over here to this little icon. Yeah, remember the whole thing I taught the other day to shake your mouse when you can't find it? Okay, so click with this finger, regular finger. And let me see, hold on, thinking of history like she did. We probably have. Here we go.
You got out.
Go to this thing right there, and now yes,
That's trash
right,
everything.
which is this one. Yeah.
So, still not minimized.
And then with the regular finger, press the word. It's download. Say aloud, yeah. Now, if it says, do you want to allow, say yes, allow. Um. There it is, say allow.
We get to these files and that.
Okay.
Now, you guys will be asked, allow, say yes, allow. 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 Yeah, so,
I just tracked.
go back to Safari.
Oh,
Oh, I don't want to attach that, I'm sure. Safari is one to the left, the compass, yeah, that one, open that. Now go up to history. And it's read it already, so be good, and go to, there you go. And now. Go to that thing and right click. Yeah, and get accustomed to not doing that, because then it's this finger instead of moving that finger. Right click, and now with the regular mouse, download, so with this. Perfect. And that's downloading. In a little bit, you'll get a window that says, allow or don't allow, say allow. It just needs to read it. Great. Press the button. It should have done it on its own. It's down at the tip. So. So. I call that folder class files to download, so it's still called that. Let me talk about that for a second, but yes. Okay, so look at my screen. Guys, I asked this thing to download. If you've never downloaded from Google, it should have come up with a message saying, allow class files to download, yes or no, and you should have clicked on allow. By now, we hope that it downloaded, but how can we tell if it downloaded? I don't know. Well, let's make things simple. Let's minimize this again to get it out of the way. Go to the little yellow minimize window bubble and minimize that. And behind that, underneath that, we should have this Finder window where we were looking at applications before. Now head over to downloads. And in downloads, ideally, you now have a folder called class files to download. And someone correctly said, wait a minute, why does it say class files to download? Well, that's the name I gave the folder. So that downloaded the same name. It's called class files to download, but it's just a name. It's the folder that I wanted you guys to download. That's why it's still called that. But that's a folder of things that you have downloaded from the internet onto these computers. So as of now, you should have some things that go to downloads. Yep, click on it. Click on it. So let me just show you, when you were here, it was, you were like here or something. You were here, right? So this is grayed out because it's not active. It won't be active until you click on it. That's why it was grayed. So then when you clicked on it first, go ahead and first go back and try to click on downloads like I told you to do. And at first, all you did was activate it. Now you go and click downloads. And that would be right. Okay, that's why I said clicking. The first click is to activate it. The second one was to choose actually the word downloads. Did it download for everyone here? Did it download for everyone at home?
No, I
Those of
forget
you-
I forget how to get into the pipeline thing.
Okay. But Hunter, do you have files on your computer? Because I don't want people to download a bunch of computers that are files that are unnecessary as
Oh,
long
yeah.
as
I have a lot of files on my computer.
then don't download it, okay? This is just for people who either just bought their computers and have nothing in it so that you don't really know, how to do.
Okay.
Or for those of you who
I don't need it.
have nothing like the people here at home in school. But if you have stuff, then we'll just work with your own files, okay?
Oh, good. Sounds good to
So
me.
don't worry.
Good.
Class files to download. Mine says 2 because I've downloaded it twice already. I have a bunch of stuff. So this goes to show you that I have a ton of stuff. Look, I can scroll up and down. But how do you do the scrolling up and down that I'm talking about? Let's head back. So let me see how everyone's looking at these files. If you're in downloads, by default, which mode are you using? Okay, so everyone has a little tiny triangle next to their folder. If you do, right, like here, next to this class files to download, do you see this little tiny thing here that looks like a little carrot? It's possible that you don't, depending on what you're doing to view it. It's okay if you don't. If you do, guys, if you do, click on that tiny little thing and it'll go whoops, and it's going to open up and it's going to show you some stuff that's inside of it. Now, for those of you at home, if you have any folder at all, that might happen, but I want to show you now a couple of other things, but that's how you open or close, expand or collapse a folder, okay? So what this means is this folder that you downloaded, when you open it, has even more folders inside.
Oh.
That's how we store things in real life. If you guys think of a filing cabinet, you know, those of us who, how many people have filing cabinets in the now world of computers? But yeah, but in the past, the world was all about filing cabinets, at least at work. But if not, people have, imagine a closet, pour everything into the closet. You have, you know, a drawer for socks, a drawer for t-shirts, a drawer for whatever. So imagine that this is a folder that holds all your stuff and you have different locations, different boxes, the way you organize that. So this is all folders inside of the one big folder. Now, all of these class files to download is a folder inside of even a bigger folder, the folder called downloads. So it's like folders within folders within folders. Does that make sense? Category thing. It's again, it's like some people, when you open their socks drawers and they have little divisions for each color socks. At least I've seen some people on the internet do that. I've never done that. But supposedly you have that. I imagine some people's pantries, you open it up and everything falls down on you. And other people's pantries, you open it up and they have like little boxes for their different spices and little boxes for their tea, little boxes for their coffee. It's up to you how organized or disorganized you are. Your computer will be probably the same. But that's not really true because I have to admit at home not being very organized, but my computer is spotless because I can open my pantry and find what I'm looking for. But you can't do it on a computer. If stuff is disorganized on a computer, you're like,
Oh, that needs to go someplace.
so actually on my computer, I'm much more organized than I am when I can just open and look for something, right? So we try to put things in the right place so we can find them later. And that's, as I said, the detail of how to get all this done, that's my macOS level 1 class. But right now, I just wanted you guys to have something in your computer so that for when we're looking for the need to have something, you'll have something in there. But now if I go and open miscellaneous files to organize and I click on that one now, there it is. There's a ton of stuff in this one. I'm going to collapse it again, or I'm going to open that one, or I'm going to open that one. So these are all folders inside of folders. I'm going to open that one and I'm going to see more stuff in there. I'm going to open that one and I see stuff in there. So it's like categories of folders within folders within folders. Now, that's all I'm going to do about as far as files are concerned, just trying to get you to equate this with storage spaces in your house. These are storage spaces on the computer. The more labeled you have them, the better. If you have a ton of boxes in your attic and they're not labeled, it's like, which box did I put it in? But if each box had a nice little label, like, dad's files, health files, or insurance, then it would be easier to find it, right? So that's just kind of what we're going to be doing over the course of some time. Now, the next thing I want us to do is to look at how we are viewing the files, because you are all viewing them relatively similarly because you're in this room, but at home, you guys might be seeing things in a completely different way. So let's head back to the applications folder and then we'll see what I'm talking about. Everyone head back to applications. Okay. Applications folder. I am seeing little kind of icons, drawings, right? I'm going to scroll up and down. How do I know how to scroll up and down? For those of you who have this kind of mouse, that little wheel that sits in there lets me go up and down. So put your mouse on top of these icons and then up and down. If your mouse is not on top of these icons, it won't work. If I'm over here, nothing works. up and down. There's nothing to scroll to, but if my mouse is in this area and then I scroll up and down, I can see me going all the way to the bottom and all the way to the top, right? If you guys are on a laptop, it's one finger up and down gives you that same scrolling feature. If you guys are on a Magic Mouse, again, one finger up and down. But on these old-fashioned mouses, there's like an actual mice. There's an actual little wheel to scroll. So depending on what mouse you have, if you have the Mac kind, it's just put your finger up and down, this thing. If you have a laptop, then it's just up and down like that with one finger. But the whole point is you get to go and see all this stuff. Now, watch what I'm going to do. We're going to look at the names Adobe Acrobat, Adobe After, Adobe Animate, Adobe Audition. So this is like alphabetical order in that direction. Then it goes down here, Adobe Creative. There's a whole bunch of Adobes here. Then we get into the B's and the C's. And so in that, it kind of follows alphabetical order in that direction. Does that make sense? Okay. I want to view the same exact stuff, but I want to see it as a list, kind of like we did the downloads, which is differently. So I'm going to go over here to where you see, if you see the word view. If you don't see the word view, you probably don't see the word view. Let me show you. You've probably seen only this. Let me have you change one thing, which is easiest. Go to this neutral area of the Finder window. Neutral area of the Finder window. Right click and say icon and text. Choose icon and text.
Why am I not finding applications?
Okay, over here on the sidebar, who spoke?
Honora.
Honora. Okay, on the sidebar of your Finder window, do you see the word applications here?
Where's my Finder window?
Okay, so Finder window is head down here where it says Finder.
Oh, Finder.
And click one
Okay.
time. That's your Finder window. And then there's applications.
Okay, I'm there. Okay, got it.
Right. Now, after you found applications, on the top bar here in the neutral space of nothingness, I said right click and choose the words icon and text. Let me show you why. By default, your computer comes like this with no text, and you just have to know what each little drawing is. And after a while, you'll learn them. But at first, if you right click and say icon and text, then you'll see the word view, the word group, the word action. You see that? That helps us a bit to begin to know what these things are. Did that look at your neighbors? Does everyone have words under their icons? Check in, okay?
Yes.
And if not, help them figure it out. How about at home? Does everyone have the icons?
Yes.
Say that I have us
Yeah.
leave 10 minutes early. So we're almost there. I was forgetting, I keep going. All right, so watch what's gonna happen. These are different ways to view the same information. I'm gonna now go from this view, which is icons, these little squares, to this one. Boom. Now I'm seeing things as a list. But it's the same words. Acrobat, 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 App Store, Automator, B, C, D. And if I scroll down, it's all in alphabetical order. You see that? It's alphabetical order, the same exact stuff, and I'm going to make this a bit bigger, that I was seeing in icons view. Now I'm seeing in list view. But it's the same stuff. The difference is that in icons view, all I knew was the name. This is chess, this is contacts, this is dictionary. That's all I know. Versus in this view, I have some information. I have when it was modified, what size it is, what kind it is. So it just has more information, right? That's one good thing about this view. Now let's change and let's go to the next one, which is columns view. So I'm going to click on this third icon. And in this third view, I'm seeing these columns of stuff, right? You don't have anything in those columns yet. The last view is the gallery. And the gallery view shows me in a very strange manner the same stuff. Again, if I look down here, these are the little icons that I was going through before, kind of if I scroll back and forth. So it's just different ways of seeing the same stuff. I never take us to the gallery view. It's fine, but it's way too confusing, especially at the beginning. I use the column view or the list view. I don't like the icon view either. The icon view is very limited. If you are not seeing all your stuff anymore, go click on applications again. The icons view is very limited. And the gallery view is in a way so much that it's not useful when you're beginning. So I skip those two views. And in this class, we're going to sit watching things between list view and column view. List view and column view. And now, let's go ahead and go to downloads. Let's go back to list view and downloads. I have a lot more stuff than you, but remember I said open the class files to download, and I said expand and collapse this little triangle to see what's inside of it. Remember that?
Oh my goodness.
Okay, let's go back.
How do we get rid of all these downloads? I don't want them all.
There you go.
Well, trust me, that's the Mac level 1 class. I will clean up your computer. I will tell you how to clean up your computer. You're going to love it. By the time you're done, you're going to be like, oh my God, life is so great. But wait until Mac level 1. Right now, I'm just showing you around. I will show you how to clean it up later. Right now, I'm just showing you how to use the window. So look at my screen, guys. Let's select the class files to download folder. Okay, so just the main folder. Even if it's expanded or collapsed, it doesn't matter. Select this one. And for those of you who didn't download the files, just be in downloads, okay? And hopefully you have a folder somewhere. If you have a folder somewhere, look for that folder and select that folder. If you don't have one, then just watch me for a second. Okay, so when this was collapsed, I could see that it said class files to download. When I expand it, I can see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 folders inside of it, right? When I expanded one of these, I could see that there's more stuff into it, more stuff into it, more stuff into it. So that's how we see what's inside stuff. All right. Watch columns view. We're going to do this a lot more, so don't worry. This is just like an introduction to it. Watch what happens with columns view. In columns view, I'm going to find that same class files to download here. When I click on the folder, class files to download, what's inside of it shows up in the second column.
Oh, cool.
Then I go to the next one, and this is what's inside of that one. And I go to that one, and this is what's inside of that one. So it's like this is inside of this is inside of that, this is inside of that. Does that make sense? So it kind of opens up. Then if I want to see what's inside of this one, I have to go click there, and it's like, whoa, that's what's inside of this one.
Oh my goodness.
And then if I go to this one, that's what's inside of this one. In the list view, I open recipes, and then that's what's inside of there. If I open miscellaneous files, it's what's there. If I open family files, it's there. So it kind of becomes kind of long, see? But what gives me the levels of what's inside of what is because this opens up like a bit further in. This is inside of that, this is inside of that. See that? When I open this is inside of that, this is inside of that, this is inside of that. Got it? So there's just 2 different ways of showing you the exact same stuff. It's how we store things. All I need you guys is to like get it. We're not yet using this, but if you guys go, oh yeah, it's like I just pulled the drawer open and I have all these little, you know, hanging folders, and then I open one folder, and inside of that I have little manila kind of folders, and then I open those and there's more in there, right? So it's like my big drawer that's just financial stuff. Then I pull out, you know, my files, my financial files from 2023. I open that. And then inside of there, I have like health, bills, insurance, gas. I open that. That I'll have January, February, March, April, May. You know what I mean? It's just like folders inside of folders, organizational. That's what we just saw. And you can see it in different ways. Now, by list view or by columns view, I find are the best ways to function because those are very obvious that what's inside of what. If instead I'm looking at these things in icons view, right? If I'm in downloads in icons view, for example, well, first of all, this is a bit of a mess, but the only way I can find things in here, this is an icons view that's a bit disorganized, but if I were to want to look and see what's in this folder, here they are, class files and download, I would have to double click. When I open it up, okay, these are the folders that are in there, but to go in there, I'll have to double click. And then I double click. And what I don't like about this mode, and finally got to the health taxes, is that I've lost view of where am I, right? I double click, I keep opening, but I don't know where all of this is. I forgot now, was this in taxes or in insurance or in family? So there's no way to trail things back in this icons view, which is why I really don't think it's a very useful view. So the point of this icons view is very visual. This one's organized, so it's a bit easier. But if I want to double click and see what's in here, I would have to double click. There I am. And I have no way to trace it back versus if these applications, I had seen them in this view, then I can go back and go CC profile. There I am. And release notes. There I am. And at least I know what I'm looking at. Okay. Or last one, I would go into documents view and instead the CC profiler, there's these things and the release notes, there they are. So different ways of viewing the same thing. The two middle ones are the most useful, list view and columns view. All right, we've done a lot of what we're going to do in the end. For now, I'm going to have us keep things in mainly in list view. We're going to end up doing in view and in columns view and everything, but we're going to do that, as I said, when we begin organizing our files, which is in plus level 2. Right now, we just have an idea of the fact that our computer is divided into rooms or folders, each one holding certain kind of things. And the downloads holds whatever comes from the internet, which in this case, we just brought down the class files, those of you who did. Documents holds everything else that I own. So anything in your computer that you own should be here. Desktop only has the stuff that you've dropped around in the front that we'll find out why or when it's good or not to do that. And then applications is all the software that this computer can run. And the last thing I'm going to say before we're done, because I didn't give you a break, but I still went to 440, is that these are all the applications that come with a computer, but only the main 20 or whatever are the ones that are here on the dock. But so if I look at the word Safari, if I go over here alphabetical order, there's Safari. That's the same app. If I go for the word messages, I go to the M, there's messages. If I go to this one, that's the calendar, I go to the C, there's the calendar. So whatever is here is also in there. But there's a ton more apps that are not here. Okay, so we're going to look at all that and decide, well, what do I really want down there? What do I not want? How do I access them? And if I ever want to open something that's not here, say I'm like, oh, I need to open my chess game. It's not here. Where would I find it? I would go to my Finder, open up my Finder window, go to applications, and there's my chess game. Okay, so any application that's not here, it's always going to be sitting in the applications folder, waiting for us to open it from there. It's like I said, it's the attic where we keep all the stuff that we don't use often. Whenever it's near, Easter or near Hanukkah, we just go down and bring down those things to decorate. The rest of the time, they go back into the applications folder, into our attic or garage or wherever it is that you put the stuff that you don't want out all the time. And the dock is our actual living space. Okay, and we put there what we want to live. All right. Let's close up our computers. You don't have anything in particular to turn off, except for that you need to log out. So let's head over to the Apple. We don't have to put you can leave the Safari open. You can leave whatever is open. What you need to do for sure is go to your Apple icon and say log out. Log out. And that's just for those of you who are here in this classroom.
What about logging out for the
For those of you who are at home, you don't need to log out of your own computers. At most, don't shut down, but put it to sleep. I'm going to talk about that next week. But for now, I just need people in here in the classroom to log out, but you guys just, you know, whatever you do to your computer, what you should never be doing is shutting it down in between uses. Ideally, you either go to the Apple and say sleep, or you just close the top of your laptop and it goes to sleep. But if you have a desktop, you can just choose sleep, or you can just walk away and in 10 or 15 minutes, it will go to sleep on its own.
Well, what about the pipeline though? That one, I can't see where to turn it off.
You don't have to. It's your own computer. You can leave it open and then you'll be able to access my stuff. You don't need to close pipeline ever. It's just a tab. If you want to close your tab, then you can close all your different tabs through Safari and quit Safari.
Yeah.
Is there a specific question you have that you want to share your screen about what you're asking me about, or?
Yeah, I don't see where it says log out for the
No,
pipeline.
people you don't need to log out of pipeline. At most, if you want to sign out, go to the word sign out, but you don't need to log out. There's no need to sign out or log out from pipeline. Next time you try to go in, if you haven't logged out in, say, 15 minutes, it'll have you log in again. It's just automatically will log you out after you haven't used it for 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
People here in
Thank
the classroom, I'm wanting them to log out, but at home, you don't need to log out. Okay.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Okay, guys, I'll see you on Monday. Email me
good
if you have
weekend.
any questions. Have a great weekend and don't get too wet. It's gonna be pretty wet. Have a great time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
So, what, Monday?